Welcome back to PSC's Tech Bytes. Today we keep on talking about how we can use Microsoft Copilot Studio to create powerful custom copilots. And specifically, I want to explain you how you can interact with external systems, like for example connectors for the Power Platform or flows defined in Power Automate or the Dataverse, and so on and so forth. When you do that, you can create custom topics in your bot created with Microsoft Copilot Studio, and you can also leverage the natural language processing and the large language models to provide a more natural interaction model for your end users. Whenever you do that, you need to keep into account a few things. For example, the flow and the bot that you create with Microsoft Copilot Studio will need to be in the same Microsoft Dataverse environment. The flow in Power Automate must be in the same solution where you have the custom copilot built with Microsoft Copilot Studio. And the flow must be synchronous, so you cannot have asynchronous flows interacted with Copilot Studio, your custom copilot in Copilot Studio. Moreover, whenever the Microsoft Copilot Studios interact with your custom flows or extensions, it will need to get an answer within 100 seconds, otherwise it will time out. And last but not least, you can receive data up to 1 megabyte of size. And the data types supported by this kind of interactions are number, string, and Boolean types. So, let me move to the demo environment and let me show you how you can leverage this functionality. Imagine that we have a list on Microsoft Lists with the list of employees in our company, and we want to create a custom copilot with Microsoft Copilot Studio to get information about those employees or to add new employees. So here I have a custom copilot that I created. It is called the Employee Onboarding Copilot, and in this one, under the Action section, I defined a couple of actions: the Add New Employee and the Get Employee Name. Whenever you want to use such actions, you can just click on Add an Action and you can search for connectors, custom connectors, flows, skills, and Dataverse data connections. And here you can see you have the list of all of the actions that you can create based on the Power Automate artifacts that you want to rely on. For example, if I want to get an action which will use a custom flow that I created, this Add New Employee, well, in Power Automate I have this flow, which is a flow that I created specifically for Copilot. As you can see, the trigger action is run a flow from Copilot. I get a set of inputs from Copilot. I can reuse those inputs in my custom actions inside the flow, and here specifically I'm creating a new item in the employees list using the name, email, and role provided when the flow was triggered. Then I compose an answer for the resulting action, and I provide that as a response to Copilot. By doing that, we can create such a flow, or we can create a flow that will get an item based, for example, on the email of an employee and will retrieve from SharePoint and from the list in Microsoft Lists the employee with that specific email, and again will compose an answer and respond to Copilot. By doing that, inside Microsoft Copilot Studio, we can easily connect and create custom action and connect to external systems like I'm showing you right now. So let's say that I want to connect to add a new employee. I can choose this flow, I can click next, I can see what the inputs are, I can see what the output is, and then I need to provide a description for all of these items, so the input and the output. And once I'm done, I can simply click on finish and I will have my custom action defined. If you want to create a new action from scratch, you can also do that. So from this UI, you can also create a completely new action. Right here, you click on create a new flow, and you will be able to create from scratch a flow in Power Automate and do all the magic on the Power Automate side. Now, the interesting part of the story is that by leveraging large language model and natural language processing, we can interact with the system in a really smart way. So, for example, here, if I activate the map in the new UI of Microsoft Copilot Studio and I have the debugger mode enabled, I can ask to my custom Copilot, for example, to search for a specific employee by email. Let's say that I have this employee with this email. I can ask in natural language what's the name of the employee with the mail eva.kent@contoso.com. By providing this question in natural language, Microsoft Copilot Studio will be able to understand what I want to do and will actually make an invocation to my get employee name custom action, providing the email as the input, and will give me back the output as expected. But I can do more. As I showed you in the action, I also have an action to create a new employee. So I can do the following: add a new employee, there is a typo, add a new employee with name Paolo Pialorsi, with the mail paolo@contoso.com and role solution architect. If I will do that, again, the natural language processing will understand the intent of the user, will understand how to map this request, this intent to the actual invocation of my custom action, and will invoke the add new employee action, providing the role, the email, and the name of the employee, so that if I go back to my list, I will be able to see that I have a new employee created for me. And here I can see that in the answer I have the employee with name, email, and role, blah, 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 yada, 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 was successfully created for you. Okay, so this is really powerful and really effective to create interfaces really friendly for users, which under the cover rely on predefined flows or connectors that we have in the Power Platform. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.